No, it's not the COVID, folks. How's it going? It's stupid. The time change, I'm going to say right now, is absolutely stupid. There's no reason for us. Excuse me, I have to pop out my friggin' chat and do this all over again because I had to pause it and then it dropped my chat. Hang on. Make sure you're on live chat, not top chat. As for your question, somebody asked what the note means at the top. YouTube must be combing every single live stream I've ever done because my channel is in good standing. It's in good standing. This live stream has advertising. But as soon as I shut the live stream off, they delay monetization. They go, oh, it might not be suitable for all advertising. So yesterday's video got marked private, and this is what's going to happen from now on. After the live stream, the video gets marked private, and I release it the next day. For the simple reason is I can't afford to let a video run for almost 24 hours because the first 24 hours, I'm being totally transparent with you folks here. The video, the first 24 hours of a video running are the most important. It's the fresh. It's because it's fresh. After 24 hours, nobody really cares. It's old news, right? So what they're doing in hopes of delaying monetization for me, they're making it really difficult for me to get to this 100,000 subscriber mark where they're supposed to magically pop out of a box and start helping me navigate this crap after 11 years. So I'm venting I got 3 more minutes to vent. Okay. So what they're doing is as soon as the live stream ends, they mark it not suitable for advertising. I request a review, and they're taking 18 to 24 hours now to decide. First, it was a half an hour. Then it was an hour. Then it was 3 or 4 or 5 hours. Then it was 7, 8, 9 hours. My live stream ended at 5 o'clock yesterday. Okay. And it didn't get released for monetization until 10:30 this morning, which means over half of my 24-hour period is lost waiting for them to review. So I haven't decided whether or not, I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but hi, Corey C. Let me say hi to some folks here. Betty Randall, Billy Buckland, Carol McKinney, Corey C., Donna Holland, Ginger Gargoyle, Helen Nelms, Jean Phillips, Jessica Pierce, Karen Ludwig, Kathy Gilmore, Lynn Marie, Lorelei, Martina H., Michelle Stark, Mr. Bucky, Nani 3, Simla, Pat McLean, Patricia Carson, RT, hi, Raf, Rena Vesey, Sherry Leach. I'm almost there, folks, but it keeps jumping. Stacy, Misha, and Sherry Leach, and that's all I got. That's all I got, folks. So that's what the tag is at the beginning of this video, okay? That's what that means. It means nobody is going to get to see the replay of the live stream until 24 hours later. That's it. That's all. Right? So while I'm gearing up to do my next live stream, my other stream is just releasing. It's stupid. It's as stupid as putting a Band-Aid on a cough. Honest to God. Hey, Barbara Rigglebaker from Kentucky. How's it going? So, yeah, although I'm working really well with my schedule, I've been at the quilt frame all morning. I got supper in the crock, got the dishwasher unloaded and loaded and running, and I sat at the quilt frame. But it's going to take, I'm going to have to do it every day now. So Thank you. Hey, Sherry baby. Sherry baby. Hi. Hey, Sandy Candy, Shell White, Steven. Oh, it's just more YouTube crap, Steven. Now, it's almost like they're going, wait a second, she's figured it out, right? She's figured out that, we're only taking a half an hour to release it. So I started releasing them at 8 in the morning, midnight. And then they weren't releasing the monetization until 4 in the morning. So I started doing them at 5 in the morning. And then they started releasing them at 8:30. It's almost like they're waiting, right? I'll schedule it for 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon or noon or something like that. And you watch, it won't get released. They're just assholes. Plain and simple. What did I put in the crock pot? You went to Costco today, Rena. Did you spend a lot of money like I did? What I put in the crock pot was slumgullion. It's kind of like smothered pork chops. I took 3 nice thick boneless pork chops out of the freezer. I seared them. And then in my crock pot, I opened a jar of my canned potatoes and I sliced them all up or chunked them all up. And then I took some dehydrated onion, dehydrated corn, dehydrated green beans. And I pour altogether about a cup. And I pour boiling water over them and let them steep a little bit. And then I dump them all over the potatoes, the onions, the beans, and the corn, all over the potatoes. Then I took 2 cans of mushroom soup, put them in a jar with a can of water, and I shook them all up and I poured them all over that vegetable stuff. And then I put my seared pork chops on top, and that's what's for supper. I've been getting notifications, but can't get in the lives. They say private. Okay, this is what I've tried to explain, Corey. As soon as this live stream is over, it will be marked made private. Why? Because YouTube immediately, as soon as I shut it down and mark it replay, YouTube, as soon as I mark it replay. But as soon as I mark it replay, YouTube shuts the monetization off. All my ad revenue goes. So I request a review. And I mark it private and I request a review. And the moment they release the monetization on the replay, I set it to public. But I can't afford to lose the first 24 hours of replay views without ads. I can't afford to let them run without ads. I can't afford it. And that's the truth. So every time I have pushed back the release, they just keep following me, and it's really creepy. It's insidious. So that's what's going on. That's why it's marked private. It is marked private until YouTube pulls its head out of its butt and releases the monetization, because we don't do anything here other than talk and pray and sing and uplift. So what have they got against that? Bev, 108-pound lighter, took the grandchildren with me. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You didn't take the grandkids to Costco. Oh, I know it's awful. Oh, thank you for the straw, Cindy. Thank you very much. I know it's awful, right? They have pushed so many channels like mine off the map of YouTube with this kind of garbage. It's manipulation. And apparently when I hit 100,000 subscribers, I get somebody assigned to me to help me through, which is a bunch of horse crap. I'm pretty sure it's a bunch of horse crap, because all they're going to want to do is tell me how to make my channel make more money for them by becoming a studio style channel. And I refuse. Please talk to Bev in all caps. Have you canned store-bought milk? I don't can milk at all. Um, have you tried shorter lives to see if that helps? I'm down to 3 lives a week on this channel. What more do they want from me? All right. I have so much work to get done. I've got a quilt to finish. Okay. I am going to, let me just write this in chat. Okay. I'm going to write this in chat. Do you under, I'm on the wrong channel here. At least I thought I was. Where's my chat? Okay. Why is it showing me as Reading with Beverly Wolfe? I am not streaming on Reading with Beverly Wolfe, am I? Oh, I'm signed in. Okay. All right. I don't know why it's saying that, but hey, Edie. I'm not going to tell everybody what Patricia Furby did yesterday because that's not my tale to tell. My tale to tell. It's not my story to tell. When Patricia has good news, she's going to want to share it with everybody herself. You know what I mean? Where is what? Hey, Terry White, how's it going? Seashell, Steven Seedfeld, Nani3. So they just let all the crazy drama channels run that don't do anything but gossip make all the money. No, they want to be the next Netflix or Crave, okay? They want people to buy channels. And I'm not gonna, I'm here. The advertising makes it so that it's free, okay? Patreon help, my friends with Patreon help so that I can pay, so that I can do live readings now, so that I can actually cut back on my live stream so I can get more work done because I'm working myself into the ground. We have lockdown in Birch Garden. Where's that? Oh, Kim, it's just, hey, Melody Ray, it's just YouTube. Once I mark my live streams as replay, they demonetize them. And I have to request a review, which takes 12 to 24 hours before they'll release the monetization. That's why people are asking me, why can't I watch the live stream? It's been marked private. It's been marked private until YouTube releases the monetization on it. Plain and simple. I can't afford to let them run without the ads. I see bad stuff on YouTube. This is not bad stuff. Well, the thing is, Lisa, is that as far as they're concerned, I'm not contributing to the wealth of their pockets. So, what's going on with Barbara? I want to thank everyone for the prayers for my sister. She passed peacefully away on Sunday of cancer. I'm sorry for your loss, Barbara. But you know what? You were right. I saw my dad leave his body. Okay? I wasn't there when he died. It's a long, long story. But I'll tell you something. When your spirit leaves the body that is broken or old or diseased, it's like a snake shedding its skin. It goes, wah! Does that ever feel great? Bye! Right? So we really should rejoice when someone who is in a lot of pain or suffering a dread disease or whatever the case, or is extremely elderly, we should be rejoicing with them when they pass because they're finally kicking that burnt out, diseased old shell to the curb. The reason we don't celebrate is because we will miss them. They're not going to miss us. They're on to bold and bigger adventures, Do they come back? Probably. Do they come back and visit? Yeah, all the time. But I guarantee your sister Barbara is shaking her shimmy all over the netherworld until she either decides to come back or decides that heaven is her goal. Right? Hey, Melody. We cry for someone who has passed. It's for selfish reasons. And it's no, but we do need to grieve. Grief is a very selfish thing, but it's a very important part of the process of moving forward. Holding on to grief is not the design. That's not the way we were designed. That's called like the 7 separations of, you know what I mean? There's different stages of grief. And we all get there, and they all have, there's reasons for those stages. Okay. We can't just go from being, oh, well, they're better off, because we have to grieve. Their problems are over. They got all the answers now. It's us who are left behind, stuck in broken and aging bodies without any answers. Right? That's why we grieve. My good friend buried her sister Saturday, and her husband passed Monday, and a hurricane coming straight at us. Jesus. You're powdering more pumpkin, Raph? Where are you getting all this pumpkin, my darling? Well, Corey, we'll be keeping you all in our prayers. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I don't know why it says reading with Beverly Wolfe when I talk. And it doesn't. It says our half-acre homestead. I don't know. Yes, from Dennis the farmer. Oh my goodness. God bless his heart, eh? Your page has been a calm in this storm. Well, I'll tell you something. I get much more calm. I'm going to be in a coma. Sorry. I mean, I'm getting stuff done. I am getting stuff done. And, you know, my cousin Mary Jane said, all of Quebec's a red zone. No, it's not. It's just our premier has decided to extend the red zones, extend not the distance of the red zones, but the time that they're going to be red zones. He's upping it to November 23rd. So I don't watch the news. I want drama and suspense. I'll watch Sons of Anarchy, okay? It's pretty dark these days, by the way. I'm on season 4. If I want joy, I'll watch a Christmas movie. If I want the news, I'll ask my husband, are our boundaries closed yet? If not, then I forget about it and go on. You know what I mean? Did you hear about the shortage of canned pumpkin? I actually have the biggest of the little pumpkins that Raph brought me. I'm going to carve that puppy. Papa's going to carve his. And I just haven't decided whether or not we're going to carve them live on Thursday, because I want my pumpkin in here for Freaky Friday. You know what I mean? I've been watching the Waltons. Hey, Yarn Prepper, did you get your payment for my scrubbies in the jars? Question on pumpkin. Daughter just told me she left pumpkins on vines and it's going to get in the 50s by Friday. Has snow since last week. Do I write them off or can I save them yet? If they're not soft, they're savable. Get them in the porch. Right? As long as they haven't frozen, they're fine. Hey, Sue Bass. Wonderful. Wonderful yarn. Bev, did you ever play But I Got High for Briar? Oh my God, yes, I did. It was that night when I went and picked him up. Or the next day when I went and picked him up, I showed him. And he goes, I said, you just got to see this one scene here, Briar. So I put it up on the TV and it goes, I was going to go to but then I got high. And he goes, oh, Mom, you didn't play this. I said, yeah, I did. And he goes, tell me you didn't know I said, I had no idea. I just listened to the first couple of lines and thought it was cool. And then when it got to the really vulgar part, he looked at my face. He starts laughing. He said, I knew you wouldn't have played that if you had listened to it all the way through in the first place, Mom. Word to the wise, listen to music before you play it. Hey, Furby, Folklore Family, hi. People, Dollar Store has been a good resource for stocking up. I went to Dollar Tree, and no, I didn't even get any more lids. I got one Christmas project to do so far, right? But I'm not going to be going out and about a lot. I had to stop watch The Walking Dead when that bad guy showed up. My nerves couldn't handle it. Yeah, and I love that guy. He is such a great actor. The very first thing I remember seeing him in was a movie called P.S. I Love You with Hilary Swank and Gerard Butler. And he happened to be Gerard's Butler best friend back in Ireland. Hey, Bev, babe, what are you cooking tonight? Hey, shabby cat. Um, Sneeze into your tissue. Hang on a second. Yeah, I stopped watching it. As a matter of fact, Howie and I were watching the documentary series on the guy, Luca Magnotta. And I watched the first couple episodes with Howie and said, I can't watch this. And he goes, well, they're not actually showing it, Bev. I said, I don't care. I hear the vacuum. And I couldn't watch any more of it. And he said, okay, so you don't mind if I continue to watch it? And I said, that's fine. Yes, break time. I was gonna cook supper, but then I got high. What's for supper, folks? Have you ever had a video about frying snakes, deep frying? No. You have to look at J0's videos for that. He barbecued some snakes. Say poggers. Why? Dollar Tree has medical supplies. Be careful, okay? I remember being in Arizona and buying a whole bunch of antibiotic ointment to bring home, but it was triple antibiotic ointment, and I put it on my tattoo, used it on my tattoo, broke out in blisters. So be really careful with your dollar store medical supplies, okay? Picked my very last crop this morning, and what was it? No, it's not shepherd's pie. What was it, Stephen? I'll come back and look in a second. Give me a second to answer this next question. What's in the crock pot is a jar of home canned potatoes. I just sliced them all up, threw them in the bottom of the crock pot. I seared 3 thick boneless pork chops, lean boneless pork chops. And as they were searing, on top of the potatoes, I had filled a coffee cup, maybe a cup and a half of dried corn, dried green beans, dried onions, poured boiling water over them and let them sit. Then I poured those all over the potatoes. And then I opened 2 cans of mushroom soup and I put them in a quart jar with a can of water and I shook them all up and I poured them all over the veg. And then I set my seared pork chops on top. And that's what's for supper. You're welcome, Jean. For what? Hey, Lady B! Betty, how are you, darling? I won't buy medical supplies from dollar stores. It depends. I'll buy Band-Aids and stuff, right? But, most of their stuff is factory seconds. Spinach and one other crop, but that's for your other channel. What other channel? Oh, I get it. Yeah, Howie's almost done. Howie's almost done. So, almost done. As a matter of fact, I have trim, what we call baby bud, in the oven right now, decarbing. Bev, my harvest guard lids came yesterday. Woohoo! those are the Harvest Guard are the ones that are like Tattlers, but it's the son of the Tattler company who went out on his own. I smoked pork roast and made a pulled pork soup. Um, hey, Autumn Leaf. Give me a second here, folks. I'm testing our first harvest bit of harvest right now. It's called blueberry. But the thing is Howie says, "Oh, it's dry enough. It's dry enough." So I just ground some up and it felt dry, but it bogged down my grinder. So we'll see. I'm going to practice with pumpkin. So if I screw up, I can puree and dehydrate the pumpkin. Hi, Mrs. Ray Jackson. How are you today? And Heather Ashley, I have a question. Does anyone know if it's okay to dehydrate the carrots that have splits? Why not? You're going to blanch them anyway, right? Bev, that wall in the back is too bare now. Actually, it's lights. It's actually lights behind a curtain. But I'm taking it down. And I'm going to put my, I don't know what I'm going to put there. So, Bev, are you still using nighttime gummies? Yes. And they're working really well. I actually am now taking one gummy at night and one gummy size knob of butter in whatever snack I have at night. Like last night, it was popcorn. Works really, really well. So I'm just saving up. I'm decarbing all the trim and then saving it up. And Furby, are you still here, darling? How to dehydrate butternut squash. Oh, that's easy, honey. You just cut it all up, like peel it, seed it, cut it all up in cubes, steam it until it is soft, puree it with equal amounts squash and boiling water, and then spread it on your fruit leather trays, extremely thin. It takes a lot of trays, but it saves waste. Trust me. It's all about the butter, baby. Absolutely. So, same as you would pumpkin. Absolutely. I cannot use your medication, so I use red root instead. Well, there you go. Hey, McCann. Hi, Life. Bronwood P. Hello there, gorgeous. Gorgeous. You're welcome. So anyway, is Furby in the house? Because she gave me a whole bunch of, they're called produce bags, but apparently you can boil bath stuff in them as well. Like you can put your produce right in boiling bath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try that. I'm going to try putting them in boiling water and see how they do. And if they do well, then I'm just going to fill the bag with all my decarbed stuff. And I'm going to melt it with my, I'll put it in the crock pot with my clarified butter. Bev, much love. Thank you, darling. Are you leaving? Why? You just got here. Hello, Miss Bev. Just love your channel. You have the simplest tips. I wonder sometimes why I didn't think of that. I'm a little obsessive about stuff like that. The worse my fibromyalgia gets and my arthritis gets, and the older I get, the simpler I have to make things. So I cut out middleman on a lot of stuff. Can you do a shout out? My best friend Kelsey and our pup Seymour and our new kitties Chester and Wayne. I guess I just did, didn't I? Hi, Kyle Richard. Hello to your best friend Kelsey, your pup Seymour, and your new kitties Chester and Wayne. How are ya? Freaky Geek! Hey, baby! Yarn Prepper. Bev, the scrubbies are not in jars. That was just a gifting idea I used in the past. Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much. I needed to know that. Need to go feed my zoo. All right, Barbara, you take care, sweetheart. Do you feel like you have more time? Um, I don't have any more time. I just feel like it's more manageable right now. I may continue to live stream on Thursday as well, Thursday afternoon, but I am going to continue with the 4 o'clock time for the simple reason is it allows me to sleep in as much as I need to sleep in and still get some work done before I sit down. Like I said, dishwasher's unloaded and loaded and running. I got 3 squares quilted on the quilt and supper's in the crock. So yeah, it's all about organizing my time better. I'm considering making some homemade TV dinners for super lazy days. I've canned lots, but I actually am thinking of doing that too. Like my little lasagnas and stuff. But that would mean I might have to go to the dollar store and get the bigger, because those little foil ones that I put the rotini lasagnas in and stuff, they're too small. It's one person thing. I thought it was quite fine. It was enough for me. I gave Howie 2/3. I'd eat a third of it, and he's like, "No, that's not enough." Uh, I made minestrone soup last night. I put a jar of my minestrone soup in the crock pot. I added a pint of the vegetable broth. I'm gonna reiterate. I do not think you should put pepper ends and seeds in your vegetable broth. It does give it a more of a bitter flavor, but it's easy enough to disguise in something like minestrone soup if you're only using a pint of the broth, right? So that's how I'm going to save it. But I took a quarter of my minestrone soup, a pint of my broth, I chopped up an onion. What else did I put in? Oh, I had leftover pork gravy, about a cup of leftover pork gravy. And I poured that in and I stirred it all up and I made some mayonnaise muffins and boom, we had supper. It was really cheap too. If you do make some videos, well, of course. Of course. I bought a pressure canner and dehydrator because you convinced me I can do this, but they're both still in the boxes. So what are you afraid of? They are just tools, darling. You're not afraid of the tools. You're afraid of how you're going to use them. So what you've got to do is you've got to step on another square and look at them as tools. Read the instructions, follow some videos until you feel comfortable, and then just go for it. And don't walk away from a canner. Stay in the same room with the canner so that you can keep an eye on it. And always, always, always use timers. Okay? It's very easy to get distracted. How far away am I from Fairbanks, Alaska? Holy. I'm at the other end of the country. You're thinking of up by way up north, northern Ontario, I would think, or Saskatchewan or whatever. That's way at the other end of the country. I'm closer to New York. I mean, New York State's only 2.5 hours from here. More pressure in vehicles' tires than you will reach in a pressure canner. Hi, Jeremy. Hi, darling. How are you? Days and days. Make lasagna rolls, Bev. Put the fillings on cooked noodles, then roll up, set on ends, and top with sauce. Okay, well, maybe I will try that. How's things going, Jeremy? Keeping an eye on something don't mean you poke an eye out. I learned that lesson years ago. It's just all about how comfortable you feel with your own knowledge of the tools you're using. So that's the easiest thing I can do is tell you, educate yourself on the tools you're going to use. You'll soon be canning like a pro. Trust me. Furby, you told me that those produce bags that you sent me, I can boil those. If so, I might use them for making butter. Well, you're like 1,800 miles from me. What's that got to do? Oh my God, I thought she was choking for a sec. Hey! Well, I'm the type of guy who will never settle down. I know it's the gay wanderer, not the wanderer, but what, when I do this? No, I'm obsessing over my turkey waddle that I've developed. An older woman told me to can water. Why? Why? Just buy a couple of 5 gallon. I did. I have two bottles of 5 gallons of drinking water and I have a hand pump for it, just in case. Terry, I don't have Facebook. If I start one, can I join Connected Hearts group? Absolutely, Sherry. You don't have to be, you can just start a Facebook account and then join the group. And you don't have to go anywhere else on Facebook. As a matter of fact, I avoid a lot of Facebook as much as possible. Why? Because it's so friggin' negative. Like seriously negative. Canning water is great for emergencies, especially during hurricane season when the stores are out. Well, see, that's why I just keep 2 5 gallon unopened jugs of it. Can you use a pressure canner or on an induction stovetop? Not that I'm aware of. I know about this induction stovetop thing, but you're talking to somebody who wants to go backwards. I want a wood stove. Like I have a wood stove, but I want a wood cook stove. I just might buy myself one for Christmas. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? I just heard that my pewter KitchenAid is being shipped in the next 7 days. Hey, Robin Rose. I try to can 1 quart of water in each canner load. Really? I don't have enough jars for that. I know where there's a cook stove and it's nice. The problem is, Jeremy, is I have the one I need is like $3,500. Why? Because it's a cook stove. But it's insurance certified. So I can use it every day. Right? How we built that tile thing, that tile mount for where our wood stove is sitting, big enough for a cook stove. It was designed so I could put a cook stove on it. There's nothing to learning how to use it. You just learn how to run the dampers, right? You learn how to let heat out and keep heat in. I want that big stove that Misty Prepper had. She had a small one at first. And I think she went ahead and got moved upwards and she got the Pioneer Princess, and that's the one I want. And after shipping and everything, it's like $3,500 Canadian. So if I don't get one, I don't get one, right? You can boil them, just don't let strings touch dry hot pot. They will melt. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my butter in the crock pot. And then I'm going to put my herb in one of those bags. Oh, you had her for a whole week, didn't you? How did it go? Evangeline, what a dolly. What a little dolly. Watch Facebook Marketplace for a cook stove. Well, that's the thing. I want an insurable cook stove. Therefore, I'm going to get a new one that is insurance rated. That's what I'm talking about. My biggest fear is a power outage. I don't worry about a power outage because I have water and I have heat and I have shelter. That's all I need to worry about. Hey, Sammy Joe from Nova Scotia, New Scotland. How are you, darling? Beth, hi, darling. Claire Law, Karen Ludwig. Is Misty Prepper on anymore? I have no idea what happened. Just one day she was on and one day she wasn't. And I honestly think her family split up. I don't know. I'm dehydrated because I remember she was Misty Shooter one day, and the next day she was like, Misty Prepper, and then she was Misty Duck or whatever it was. And she was, she was got into a religious thing, and the next thing you know, she's gone. So I don't know where. I don't know what happened to her. You know, that's the. You're doing well after your heart procedure. I'm really, really glad. I'm glad you're doing good, Sammy Joe. Divorce and substance abuse on her part. Who are we talking about here? I'm dehydrating celery ribs. Has anyone dried those and then ground them for flavor in powder in soups? Emma, go to our half-acre homestead. But you can grind any dried celery for flavor. But the best flavor for celery flavor, if you want to grind it into a powder, is dehydrate the leaves of the celery. And it turned into powder. Just make sure you blanch the celery first. Oh yeah. Hey, Ann Lewis. Oh, you're canning pineapple. Really? Misty Prepper, divorce, and substance abuse. Is that for sure, or is that just gossip? And whose substance abuse was it? Hey! Misty Prepper. Okay. I bought our house because it had a cook stove, and when we moved in, we found out had smashed the backs of the oven. I was so unhappy. I had a beautiful 1929 Fireco bridge wall. Howie bought it for me as a wedding gift, and we got married in July, and he got it for me in September. And I'm telling you, I cooked a 39-pound turkey in that thing because my regular stove wouldn't hold it. I baked bread in it almost daily. I miss my cook stove. Misty Prepper Bev. Oh, that's too bad. Her mountain man has her son. Well, yeah, but where are her daughters? Anyway, so that's really sad. And you know what? We'll pray for her, because substance abuse addiction is a really horrible, insidious disease. And people have a tendency to think if you have more willpower, you'll be okay. And I'll tell you something. Most addicts are some of the strongest willed people I have ever met. And we don't. Our biggest problem as addicts or alcoholics is that we have too much willpower and we're constantly fighting the battle of control, when what we really need to do is surrender the control. Right?
Hello? Hello, the baby. You coming up to say hello? Your face is all wet. Did you just have a drink?
Oh,
Ricky, your face is all wet.
do I gotta move that for you? Here, all right, come on.
You gonna come up and say hello? Mommy, oh, your face is still wet.
Oh, my baby. Did we get the mouse this morning? Mommy caught a mouse in the trap and I hadn't even baited it. Is that what we heard in the night? That when you went to investigate, was the mouse getting caught in the trap? Where's my kiss? Where's my kiss?
Thank you. I love you. It's a lot.
All right, you go lay down somewhere. Go lay in front of the fire if it's still going.
Oh, she got my cleavage wet.
Oh, I remember that butchering injury. She was butchering pork and she cut across one of her fingers. And she just, closed it. And she washed it, peroxided it later, and put this stuff called people's paste on it, which has comfrey in it. And you got to be really careful. There's no bacteria present in a sore or a cut if you're going to put comfrey on it, because it literally knits the tissue back together, you know, overnight almost. And what happened was is infection got in, and the sore and the cut went over it. She had to go have it surgically cut open and debrided and sewn back up, because the infection went right to the bone. So it's probably pain pills, maybe. I can pineapple without sugar, just with water and lemon. I've been doing it for years. Well, yeah, Sammy Joe, pineapple's high acid. It's like tomatoes, right? So now what is she hearing? Hang on a second, folks. Oh. Gracie, get a life. Oh, uh-oh. Oh my gosh. That is not good. Crap. Sorry about that, folks. Nobody out there, Gracie, but the snow. A little bit of snow. I'm sorry, I'm behind. If anyone else enjoys meditations, Medical Medium has a great ones on his podcast. Wow. Maybe we should try that. But that's kind of what we do at the end, eh? We say a little prayer and... Hey, Rosie Slade. Just got back from the food bank. Oh, man. Yeah, I remember those days, baby. Gracie is the only dog on YouTube that my poodle reacts to. Really? Gracie's the throne princess, man. Hey, Barbara Webb, Sandy Candy, Maya Quito. What is this? This is a live stream from our half-acre homestead. We come here, we talk, we share recipes, ideas, and then we love and support each other, and we help each other through stuff. And at the end, we say a blessing, hoping that sharing some of our light will push back at the darkness that's going on in the world today. But if you go to the channel for the regular videos, it's like cooking and canning and all that stuff. Where's Lena? What's going on with Lena? Bev, I was told artificial nails causes issues in food. Is that true? Artificial nails. All I know is that when Leona and I got our nails done the last time, she kept them on. She just kept getting them filled, and it made her very sick. She can never wear artificial nails again. She left them on too long. I don't know what that means. I remember when she hurt her hand. I hope wherever she is that she's doing well. Yeah, we'll include her in our prayers. That's for sure. The whole family. I used artificial nails for years, never had an issue. Well, my mother-in-law is also elderly and a diabetic too. My goddaughter OD'd on my birthday Saturday. Is she okay? Is she alive? I mean, did you get to her in time? It's not just fun. It's just, us. We hang out. This is the place we come. Used to be every day, starting in last January, but I've been kinder to myself. This is the place we come, so we don't have to deal with crap. We deal with our own crap. We don't deal with the other outside issues. We deal with our own stuff, and we support each other through our stuff. Okay, Lena, is she okay? Somebody please tell me. I don't drink and tried to watch a video on making this stuff, but never found out if it worked. How long is the process? Water, honey, and yeast. No, she passed. She snorted some stupid stuff that her boyfriend gave her. And it probably had fentanyl in it. Oh, honey, I'm so, so sorry. I'm so, so sorry. I hate it. Um, I hate it when the darkness, I hate it when addiction takes another person. It's, it's insidious. Um, God, I'm so, so sorry, Lena. Well, I'm glad you enjoy my canning, Jane McCroskey. The initial process takes anywhere from 10 days to 3 weeks. Then you bottle to complete the process. A person can have it ready. What are we talking about? You're not talking about making alcohol, I hope, because that's not something I'm comfortable talking about. Alcohol is a poison as far as I'm concerned. I'm not saying people can't drink, and I'm not saying they shouldn't drink. I'm just saying, me personally, you don't want to see me dancing naked in the middle of a snowstorm down a highway. So I've have a tendency to avoid alcohol because when I drink, it's there's a potential for somebody getting very seriously hurt. Same with Howie. So it's I look at alcohol as a poison. It was my drug of choice. Alcohol was my drug of choice. I've been 23 years sober now, right? Yes, I medicate with marijuana, but that was a whole other ball game, and it was never an addiction issue for me to begin with. Oh, mead. Mead is basically fermented honey, honey water. What was a pretty picture? In Virginia, it's an open prescription to go to pharmacy. They have to give it. What Narcan? Everyone should carry it for an emergency. Well, there you go. Yes, mine. Yes, Emma Pochard. Mine was tobacco as well. As a matter of fact, tobacco was my monster. It wasn't just my drug of choice. Alcohol was my drug of choice. Cigarettes were my monster. And I smoked for 26 years. And the last 20 of those years, 2.5 packs a day. I was smoking. I learned to inhale cigarettes at 12, and I didn't quit till I was 38. And by God, I was almost dead. I was a year away from emphysema if I had not quit. And you want to know something that's really wild? Is I used to have a really good voice in high school, but I was smoking all through those years, right? And then I started getting chronic laryngitis where I could barely speak or sing or anything. And when I quit smoking, I have a range. I don't have a great range, but I have better range now than I did before I ever picked up cigarettes. So, took ages to kick it out. Absolutely. How did I quit smoking? I almost died. I got bronchitis so bad that my cousin phoned me. Thank you. God bless my cousin Dee Dee and Vanessa, Dee and cousins Dee Dee and Vanessa, because I was living in Elmer, Quebec at the time, and so were they. And Dee Dee phoned me to see how I was doing, and I was in bed. And I said, "Hang on a second, let me sit up." And I went to sit up, and I couldn't breathe. Right? It was like my bronchial tubes and lungs got flooded. I could barely choke. And because I said, I was laying in bed and I said I was going to go to the walk-in clinic, but I just don't feel it. I can't. I just can't do it. And then when I sat up and started to choke, she said, "Vanessa's on her way. You just hang up the phone. Vanessa's on her way." Vanessa came and got me, took me to the walk-in clinic, and then rather than waiting, they took me right through into the gurney. And I had a coughing fit so bad I peed myself all over the examination table. I couldn't breathe. So the doctor put me on prednisone, some other antibiotic, um, 2 puffers, and patches. And I still smoked until I had already been weaning myself off. So I was down to like 10, ultralight cigarettes a day, which by the way are worse for you. And then I made a decision that I wanted to live. I wanted to live. So Howie and I dropped our cigarettes in the garbage, put on a patch. And back then the patches were 3 steps, 3 stages. And I put on the patch before I went to bed, and I wore the first patch for 24 hours, and it made me so jittery, I had to take it off before going to bed. In 10 days, I was taking it off sooner and sooner and sooner. I hadn't even graduated to step 2 yet. And on day 10, I put it on my arm as soon as I woke up. I wore it till 10 a.m. So I wore it for about 3.5 hours, and then I took it off. Now, I would like to say I have never smoked since, but smoking's an insidious addiction. And I had a couple of slip-ups, and the last slip-up I had was after I totaled our Acura. And I saw the woman who helped me climb out of the ditch, had a cigarette and a Tim Hortons in her hand. And I said, "You got another one of those?" And she handed me both. And I almost started smoking again. I inhaled 2 cigarettes so fast and it felt so good. I wouldn't let the ambulance guy touch me until I finished the second one. That's smoking. 1 puff is all it takes. It's like 1 drink of alcohol would probably, I don't know. Do I want to ever take that risk? Like I recently had. Hi, Mac. How's it going? I'm glad you stopped, Mama B. I would never have met you and have you in my life. I'd probably be dead. If Howie and I hadn't quit drinking, one of us would be dead. If Howie and I hadn't quit smoking, I probably would be dead right now. I would probably be dead. So, I mean, how are ultralight cigarettes worse? More chemical preservatives. Whatever they take out in the nicotine, they add, there's more preservatives. They're harder for you. They're harder on you. Up until I decided to quit, I smoked home rollies. And I rarely, I had lung issues, but not like when I started smoking what we call tailor-mades, which is the ones you buy in the store. Because you think about this, the tailor-made cigarettes that you buy in the packages in the store have to have more preservatives in them because they're individually rolled in paper in packages, so they'll dry out faster. So they have to have more chemicals in them. And tobacco, not so much. Hi, Sammy Joe. I've been watching you since 2015, and I don't say much. A word here and there. I still smoke. Well, that's your demon, sweetheart. That's your demon. People can't even smoke in front of the windows of my house. You have to sit out away from my office window and my kitchen window. Because if I smell smoke coming in my house, you're kicked off the deck. It's that insidious for me. To this day, somebody could be standing smoking in front of me and I will want that cigarette. Alcohol. Last time I opened a bottle of alcohol was to make RSO oil, and just the smell of it turned my stomach. So 43 years. Wow. Hey, Rachel Compton. I only smoke fresh leaves we grind and make cigarettes myself. No additives and cheaper, but it is only my only vice, not just able to stop. Dallas, you know what, sweetheart? I am the last person to tell people. I'm not. Okay, listen. I cannot smoke, and I can't have cigarette smoke around me. Doesn't mean I'm going to judge you for your diseases and addictions and vices. They're not mine. They're yours, sweetheart. So don't ever think I'm judging. I just don't want people romanticizing alcohol and tobacco because they're both poison. They're both poison. Marijuana, on the other hand, is an herb that has been vilified as a narcotic, opiate, LSD style dangerous drug, and it's not. It's just an herb. I know, Dallas. I know. I just quit cold turkey when I found out I was pregnant with firstborn. Yeah, I wish I could have. I went down. I smoked half a pack a day with Arthur, to a pack a day. And with Briar, I smoked 10 cigarettes a day because it made me sick, but I couldn't quit or I would have miscarried. It was really weird. It's easy to quit after a stroke, but other than that, I would not have stopped. Well, I mean, the craving, no, you're right, Hillside. The craving never goes away. Never goes away. You know? And I explain to people that I chose alcohol over any other kind of drug other than cigarettes as my drug of choice. Why? Because when I was 18, alcohol was legal and so was cigarettes. They were socially acceptable. And marijuana was expensive and illegal and hard to get. And then one day I got half in the bag on vodka. Thank you, Fred. And they talked me into trying a knife toke. And they gave me an aluminum, like a funnel. And he said, see that tiny? Because I said, it makes me sick. I don't want any weed with mine. He said, oh, it's not the same. Right. So he said, see that little piece of hash there? Right. And when he said, that's the one we're going to do. So when you're ready, go like that. And I did. And he hit the big one. Right. And I was so violently sick for the next 5 hours. It wasn't funny. Why? Because hash is just the crystal resin that's been shaken off of the plant and rolled into like a ball, right? So it's part of the plant. It's not, right? I'm staying away from the joint because I'm still afraid of wanting to smoke a cigarette, and I could do with Mary Jane to control arthritis pain. Real afraid. Okay, Emma, good thing to talk about. Let me finish though. I cannot smoke marijuana, or never could drink and smoke marijuana at the same party. Why? Because alcohol is a poison and marijuana is a medicine. And when they go in my body, they go at war. So I chose alcohol, right? I'm 23 years sober. It took me a long time. And as for marijuana, what I had to do was I had to switch in my brain of it being a drug to being a medicine, right? I had to do a lot. I did a lot of journaling, a lot of soul searching, a lot of 12-step work with people. And there are still people in my family and friends that consider me as not being sober because I use marijuana medicinally, right? I smoke like 2 of these a day, right? So it's a matter of where you look at it. And I'm going to tell you a secret. It doesn't react on you the same way cigarettes do. Nicotine is a drug. It's and the things they put in tobacco, preservatives and pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, all these things, okay? You're not going to feel the same. I know, I roll them. They still look like cigarettes. As a matter of fact, I used a rolling machine once and used the filter tubes. And 2 different times, my sons, once Briar and once Arthur, came around the corner on the deck while I was sitting outside smoking a joint, and they stopped dead. He said, what are you smoking? I said, oh, no, it's marijuana. I just used a tube. And he goes, oh, okay, thank God. Right? My children, well, they're 27 and 32, okay? But my sons would they would shit a ring around themselves if they saw me pick up a cigarette. Howie would be heading for divorce court. It's that serious of an issue with cigarettes was my monster. But marijuana is not. It's not the same. It's not the same in any way, shape, or form as tobacco, okay? Trust me, being here in Missouri. Wait a second. I missed that. It is evident there are different strokes for different folks. God bless us all on our journey. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I am the last person to tell people what to do with their lives. Everybody's journey is their own. Sometimes people are never able to kick their addictions. And my heart goes out to them because 9 times out of 10, you want to. But the sad truth is, you cannot quit an addiction by willpower alone. Maybe you can. Okay? I said that wrong. You can quit with willpower. However, willpower is not always enough. Let me put it that way. Willpower is enough. You need support. You need, you know what I mean? You need a support system because it's like quitting heroin. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. I broke out in rashes. I got sick. It was awful. Oh, and that was the alcohol. Yeah. Hi, Bev. First time I've made it to a live in about 2 weeks. Hey, Lisa Martin, how are you? Okay. Good friend died from pot and barbiturates. Okay, I'm going to tell you, your good friend died from the barbiturates, not the pot. Pot cannot kill you unless you eat 1,500 pounds of it. Okay? You would have to be in a house made of pot on fire before it would kill you. Unless, of course, now you can overdose on things like edibles and oils. Don't say you can't overdose, but pot itself, but there's no poison in pot. So I'm going to say it had to be the barbiturates because that's the biggest argument that I have been fighting against since I started medically using marijuana. Is this stuff is an herb. It can't kill you. Now you can make it into something that can kill you, or at least screw you up really, really bad. But pot is not deadly in any way, shape, or form unless you smoke a joint and go for a drive. I've already decided when I'm 70, I'm going back to smoking just because I'll be about to my life. 1,500 pounds in 90 minutes. Thank you, you big bastard. Hey, Tom, how are you, darling? Yeah, you'd have to eat 1,500 pounds in 90 minutes. Pretty sure your body would explode. Pretty sure your stomach would explode after an ounce. Yeah, it is. It's physically impossible to OD on pot unless you eat a cup of Rick Simpson oil or something. And that could probably do some real damage to your brain, but not going to kill you. Hey, Sue Marie. Yeah. That's what my dad used to say. He said, you drink a, he said you can overdose on anything if you take enough of it. But overdose doesn't necessarily mean like overdose like heroin. It means like you overeat. It's an overdose, right? I hate car insurance companies. Why? Why? What was what about? Okay, I missed something. But listen, guys, it's been an hour and 8 minutes, and it's time for me, because Papa's going to be home. This is why I'm loving my new schedule. Papa's going to be home in about 15 minutes. Now, anybody who wants to watch the replay, remember, it'll probably be noon tomorrow or 10 a.m. tomorrow morning before it's actually released, because YouTube doesn't like me saying it's in replay. Maybe I just won't put replay on the title and we'll see what happens. Like it just started. I know. Listen, folks, I have to go check dinner. I have to get back to quilting. Okay. After dinner, I'm sitting back at the quilt frame because Papa's finishing trimming my stuff and then we're going to get on there. So it's okay. I will be back again tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even Thursday. But Thursday is my work day to get editing and things done, right? So we'll see you guys at 4 o'clock tomorrow. And for anybody else who wants to stay for our spiritual refreshment. Oh, I like that. Let's have some spiritual refreshment. Nobody has to stay. There's no judgment, no harm, no foul. If you don't want to stay, that's fine. But what we like to do is we like to have some spiritual refreshment at the end. We do a blessing and a prayer to the higher power of your understanding. My higher power is my higher power. Your higher power is your higher power. Don't let how I talk to my higher power change your mind about adding your love and your energy to this blessing. Okay? I'll be right back. That's my oven. I got to shut it off. That means my decarb is done. Ow. 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 I'll be right there. Got to use the lube. Always, always, always wash your hands and don't touch your face. All right, this has given time for all the folks who want to leave, okay? So, thank you for joining us today. Hey, Johnny! How's it going? Seashell, Bev, you are an artist with your words. Yes, a spiritual refreshment. Love it. I've actually heard that from somewhere else, from a Little House on the Prairie book. Or was it spiritual nourishment? Whatever it is, let's do it. All right? Let's take a nice deep breath. Okay? Hey, Chief, it's us. Thank you, God, for bringing us together again for another day so that we can come together and talk about the things that matter in our lives. Our misconceptions about drugs and alcohol and cigarettes, our love and support for each other when it comes to talking about things like addiction and death and surgery and pain. But that's why we come here. We come here to be together so that we can support, love, and uplift each other through these perilous times that we're facing, these dark times we're facing. And God, thank you. Thank you for all these people who are in my life today, who make my life so much richer just by being here in my life. And there's a lot of darkness out there, God, and we know it. There's a lot of fear and suspicion. And I mean, heck, we're still not arguing, but we're still discussing the difference between alcohol and marijuana and cigarettes. How are people supposed to navigate all the misconceptions that we're being fed politically in this time of this pandemic and elections and all these things, right? So God, all the people, all the negative agenda pushers, all the ones that want to keep us confused and afraid or alone, I'll give them to you. Because you know what you got to do, and you know how to deal with them better than us. We have no idea. We don't know what your plan is. But for the rest of the world, God, the ones who are struggling at pushing back at the darkness, the ones that are alone and afraid, addicted, rejected, neglected, ill, elderly, alone. God, We lift them up into the sunshine of your love so that it may break over their hearts and refresh them to face another day. Thank you, God, for this refreshment with my YouTube family and friends. It's really important. At least to me it is. Thank you, God. Thank you for my family and my husband and my dog and my pantry. Because guess what? When we're counting our blessings, God, there's no room for negativity. Thank you for that. Amen. Shalom. Namaste. Miigwech, merry meet. Blessed be. Peace be with you. Whatever your salutation is, whatever your positive energy is that you want to share with us and with the rest of the world, thank you for that. Okay? Because we all could use a little more sunshine in our lives. All right? Take care. God bless. Until tomorrow, I love you all. Remember, don't watch for the replay of this. It will be marked private until probably 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. All right? I love you guys. God bless.